Red button means for live, some casual takes with your boy Stephen Pepper, here to give some takes off my chest. Tomorrow is going to be a very good day. Not just because the fate of the Lakers are tomorrow at 10 p.m., but it's because it's the NFL draft, and I love the draft season. I think this is going to be one of the best drafts ever, at least of my recent memory. A lot of quarterbacks, a lot of talent, a lot's at stake. A lot of teams can change on draft night. That's the beauty of the NFL draft, and I thought it would be cool. I'm no draft expert, of course. I'm not a, Mel Kiper. I'm watching all the film of all these guys. I just thought it'd be cool if I came on here and did a little mock draft just to kind of tell you guys who I think, if I were to play GM, not what I think will happen. I have a different mock draft of what I think would happen if I were a GM of your favorite team, because my team, shout out to the Colts, we're picking a little lower. What I think the top first 12 picks, if I were the GM, who I think should go to those selections. So here is my NFL mock draft for this year. Starting at number 1 with Chicago. No brainer. You do not have to be Einstein to think the Bears are taking Caleb Williams first overall. Chicago, how the hell do you not have a 4,000-yard passer yet? The franchise is like 100 years old. You end that streak this season by drafting Caleb Williams. Commanders at 2. Now, I know a lot of people like Jaden Daniels here. But to me, I think he's a little bit overhyped because I think Drake May is the second best quarterback in this draft. I like his physical tools and pocket presence better than Daniels. Drake May at 2. But Daniels goes to New England at number 3. I don't think a team will trade up for this pick, although I'd want New England to trade down. But since they can't, the Patriots have no choice but to draft a quarterback here. And that's where Daniels goes at number 3. Cardinals at 4. Again, another no-brainer here. Marvin Harrison Jr. Kyler Murray is still a franchise guy, but he's got zero help. So you give him a generational wide receiver talent, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4. Everyone and their mothers has, this is pick 5. Everyone and their mothers has the Vikings trading up for this pick, down Chargers, to select J.J. McCarthy. But I don't think J.J. McCarthy is worth taking for Minnesota to trade up and take at 5. So since the Chargers would remain at 5, they draft Malik Neighbors to give Herbert some real down the field speed. The Giants at 6. You guys know how I feel about this pick. Without Saquon Barkley, there is 0 weapons on this roster. So Rome Odunze comes in to give the Giants a consistent perimeter threat that they haven't had since prime OBJ. Titans at 7. This is another no-brainer. The Titans have the worst offensive line in the league, so they draft the best tackle in the draft in Joe Alt to protect the young Will Levis. Falcons at 8 is pretty interesting. The Falcons at 8, they've went offensive heavy in the last few drafts. I think with new defensive head coach Raheem Morris, you give him a defensive cornerstone on his side of the ball. And Morris, in Los Angeles, his defense was very heavy on the interior with guys like Aaron Donald. So he drafts familiarity with defensive tackle out of Texas, Byron Murphy. Bears at 9. I think with what's available at 9, I lean defense for my defensive head coach at Matt Eberflus. And you can't go wrong with a Bama edge in Dallas Turner at 9. Jets at 10. They've addressed the offensive line and the wide receiver 2 issues in free agency. I think they still continue to go all in on 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, so they provide him with a generational tight end in Brock Bowers. So here are the Vikings now at 11. Like I said, no need to trade up for J.J. McCarthy. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but Minnesota needs a quarterback, and they take him at 11. And Broncos at 12. It's funny. I think there's a very good chance that Zach Wilson is like their first. There's a good chance that Zach Wilson's the best quarterback on the Broncos next season. But you don't take a quarterback at 12. There's no one worth taking. I'm sorry. So they rebuild the bottom 5 defense instead and start with Laiatu Latu on the edge. So those are my picks. I'll just summarize. Bears at 1, Caleb Williams. Commanders at 2, Drake May. Patriots at 3, Jaden Daniels. Cardinals at 4, Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers at 5, Malik Neighbors. Giants at 6, Rome Odunze. Titans at 7, Joe Alt. Falcons at 8, Byron Murphy. Bears at 9 again with Dallas Turner. Jets at 10, Brock Bowers. Vikings at 11, J.J. McCarthy. And Broncos at 12, Laiatu Latu. Bears, obviously, no-brainer. You take Caleb Williams. There's a lot of back and forth between May and Daniels. I just think the Daniels hype, a lot of draft analysts are a little bit on the overhyped side. I think they're artificially pumping up his hype. I'm not saying Jaden Daniels is bad. I think Drake May is the better quarterback. And then the Chargers and Minnesota thing, this is where everyone and their mothers is mocking up. Again, I don't think you should trade for, if you're Minnesota, a couple first-round picks, 3 or 4 of them, to go up at 5 and take J.J. McCarthy. I don't think J.J. McCarthy, I'm not saying he's going to be bad, but I heard Colin Cowherd talk about today, and I believe the same thing. He's just going to have to be a guy who just proves me wrong. I don't see it. The beauty of the NFL draft is you can't 100% know for a fact how these guys are going to translate to NFL defenses. But going off assumption and what I saw in college, I don't think J.J. McCarthy is really like that. And why would I trade 3 first-round picks if I'm Minnesota for him? And then he's going to be available at 11. You just take him there. And the Giants, now, I told you guys a month ago, this is what I think about the pick. If Drake May somehow gets here at 6, Jaden Daniels, okay, we're having a little different conversation. But if all 3 of those guys, Caleb, May, and Daniels are gone at 6, you just got to take a receiver. And then if Daniel Jones is still not good next year, you just move off him next year when it's easier. And those are my picks. Those are my picks 1 through 12 for my mock draft. Again, I'm no expert, but those are my picks. I got one more thing to talk about before I go. So Tyrese Maxey yesterday, they announced that he won the Most Improved Award. I wanted to give you guys my predictions for the awards or like my takes on the awards, but I couldn't find time to make a segment on it. And by the time I had time, which was like today, they already announced Tyrese Maxey won Most Improved. But I want to talk about it because this award is weird. It's like the award I'm the most passionate about in the NBA. Not the MVP, not the Defensive Player of the Year. Weirdly enough, it's the Most Improved Player, and for a reason. And again, congrats to Tyrese Maxey for winning Most Improved Player. He had a heck of a season. But I'm sorry, Most Improved Player isn't Tyrese Maxey's award. It's Coby White's. Because to me, Most Improved Player means a player with little expectations makes a huge unexpected leap. And I can't say it's Maxey's award because when everyone in America expected him to make a natural jump similar to what he took this season, when the 76ers moved off James Harden, it can't be his award. Whereas Coby White, think about Coby White. Chicago didn't think much of him anymore. He was an inefficient scorer who was drafted 5 years ago, and every year after his sophomore season, his production would decline. But this season, he took a leap when no one saw it. He started all but 1 game this season when he was healthy, and he averaged an efficient 19 points per game with 5 assists. No natural improvement for Coby White, no natural expectation. He just got better when no one expected him to. That's why he's my Most Improved. Yes, did Tyrese Maxey improved? And you always got to give credit to players who improved. Tyrese Maxey, pull up his stats here. He was drafted in 2020. He's in year 4. He was 8 points a game to 17.5. I mean, if you're going to give him Most Improved, give him from 8 to 17. Then he goes from 20 points in 2022 to 2023. And then this season, he goes from 20 points to pretty much 26. Again, credit to him for making the improvement. It's still difficult to improve from a very good starter who can drop you 20 to fringe All-NBA, definite all-star player. But he was in his 4th season, and he improved every single year. The natural expectation for Tyrese Maxey this season, when he moved off James Harden, he was the preseason betting favorite to win the award because he was naturally expected in that Philly front office, in the Philly fan base, in neutral fans across the country to make this jump. And also it helps when he makes the jump because you got an increased volume workload. But Maxey has gotten better every year. Whereas Coby White, he was drafted 5 years ago, 2019. He played his rookie season pre-pandemic. So that shows you how long ago he was drafted. He was 13 points a game on below 40% efficiency. He was a good scorer, but the efficiency wasn't great. Then he got better at 15 points a game on slightly better efficiency the following year, but then all went downhill when they formed that mid-3 in Chicago. He started losing minutes and minutes by the year. Points went down by the year. Efficiency went down. Last year was pretty brutal for him. He was 9.7 points per game on bad efficiency, really bad efficiency. Kind of felt like Chicago was done with him. And then this season, he makes a damn near 10-point jump, more than Maxey, and then a 2-assist jump and increases efficiency. And now he goes from almost forgotten young talent, lottery pick, but almost a forgotten young talent, to I'm here, I'm a very solid, above average, pretty much 20 point per game score in this association. I didn't want SGA to win it last year for a reason. You guys remember I did my NBA award picks last year? I said, I can't give it to SGA. No way. Did SGA improve? Did he become a very great starter to a all-NBA first-team caliber player? That is a jump. Yes. But he was supposed to make that jump. When you're supposed to make a jump, and it's why he wanted Lowry to win it last year, and he did, because Lowry was seen as a trade piece in the Donovan Mitchell deal. Now, a couple people did like Lowry marketing because if you were a Cavs or a Bulls fan. But again, he was more like a lottery pick, forgotten talent, seen as just like a good role player who had some potential, and then makes this all-star starter jump to 25 points per game. SGA goes from 22 to 28, but we kind of saw that jump coming. That's why I didn't like Ja winning it a couple years ago when he wins it in his sophomore season. I get he improved, and you always got to give credit to people to improve because improving is hard. To go from 20 to 28 is hard. Not everyone does that, of course. If it was easy, every 20-point per game scorer would go to 28. But there are some people in the league, due to production, expectations, where you're selected, your volume, your role in the team, your age, your talent, that we can kind of expect you to make sort of some type of jump. No one expected Coby White to go from 9 to 19. I want to find the guy who did. If you're a guy in here who expected Coby White to make a 10-point jump this season and start every game, I want to know who you are. People, everyone, but I know you expected Tyrese Maxey to make this jump. I know you expected Tyrese Maxey to win this jump. Congratulations to Tyrese for being the most improved. He did improve. I had him as my second place guy, but just because Coby White, when no one thought he was going to improve to this level, he made the jump. I like giving it to role players who make pretty good jumps. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in this episode of Some Casual Takes. To stay updated on all things related to social media, Some Casual Takes is my handle everywhere. Until next time.